I've gone and Finney Jr.'s there to head it home. From Muller full far, and in there was Haaland.
Slipping it through for Haaland!
There is only one national team in football history that has never lost to the Seleção, and that team is Norway. Across 4 meetings, Norway have earned 2 wins and 2 draws against Brazil. Now these two nations are set to collide in the World Cup round of 16 this summer. Samba meets Thor in a matchup that feels made for the biggest stage. Can Brazil handle the pressure under Carlo Ancelotti? Can Vini, who has been outstanding throughout this World Cup, keep delivering and lead Brazil into the quarterfinals? On the other side, can Norway make even more history? They are chasing only their second ever knockout stage victory at a World Cup after earning their first against Côte d'Ivoire in the round of 32. Welcome to the full preview and prediction for Norway versus Brazil. This has all the ingredients for an unforgettable match. The atmosphere, the intensity, the talent on both sides. Everything about this game feels massive. Drop your thoughts in the comments because we're breaking down 3 big topics in this video. First, what happens if either team wins? Next, the biggest keys to victory for both sides. And finally, my prediction for how this huge showdown could play out. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe for more World Cup coverage, and let's jump straight into it. So, what would a win mean for either team? Let's begin with Brazil's point of view. They are facing a Norway side that has been playing with real confidence and strong momentum. Yes, Norway lost to France during the group stage, but they rested several key players in that match. If Brazil can defeat this informed Norwegian team, packed with quality all over the pitch, it would be a massive confidence boost for Carlo Ancelotti and his squad heading into the quarterfinals. It would also show that Brazil can deal with one of Norway's biggest strengths, their dangerous set-piece threat. Norway have been one of the most dangerous teams from set pieces at this World Cup. Whether it's corners or free kicks, they constantly create problems. They have the height, the strength, and the physical presence to make every delivery into the box feel like a real threat. The big question is whether Brazil can deal with that challenge. During the CONMEBOL World Cup qualifiers, defending set pieces wasn't one of Brazil's biggest strengths, although they have shown clear improvement throughout this tournament. Now they face their toughest aerial test yet against this Norwegian side. For Carlo Ancelotti, this is another huge moment. His in-game management has been impressive during the World Cup, but this match demands that he gets everything right from the very first whistle. His tactics, his starting lineup, and every adjustment during the game could make the difference. If Brazil overcomes Solbaken's side, it could give both Ancelotti and his players a huge boost of belief heading into the quarterfinals. There's another major storyline for Brazil as well. A victory here would finally give them a knockout win over European opposition at the World Cup for the first time since the 2002 final against Germany. That's a long wait for a nation with Brazil's history. Winning this match would send a powerful message that they can once again compete with Europe's very best on football's biggest stage. But if Norway pull this off, it could become the greatest victory in the country's football history. After already earning their first ever World Cup knockout win against Côte d'Ivoire, eliminating Brazil would take Norwegian football to another level. Fans would have every reason to celebrate a moment like that for years to come, with clubs like Bodo, Glimt, Brann, Viking, and Molde continuing to raise the standard.
He wants to be in the mix with the big stars, so he gave us 2 goals yesterday. He wants to shine just like the other ones, and Brazil had a good game, and their main guy, Vinicius Jr., showed up again and scored 2 goals, and Carlo Ancelotti, he knows exactly what he's doing. They didn't have the best start, but they're getting better and better, and it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And they need those players to make a difference.
A win over Brazil would only add to the belief that Norwegian football is growing stronger than ever. A result like that could completely change the mood around Norwegian football. Interest in the domestic league would keep growing, and the belief across the country would reach another level. People would start saying, why can't we compete for the Euros in 2028? And honestly, after a win over Brazil in the round of 16, it would be easy to understand that confidence. Reaching the World Cup quarterfinals would already be a remarkable achievement, putting Norway just 1 step away from the semifinals. If Solbakken and his players can handle that pressure and pull it off, it would be a moment Norwegian football fans would never forget. A victory like that would also bring even more attention to Erling Haaland's individual season. Awards are always debated, but if Haaland delivers another huge performance on this stage, especially if he scores twice against Brazil while continuing his outstanding World Cup form, his name would deserve to be right in the middle of every Ballon d'Or conversation. Performances in the biggest matches always grab attention, and this would be another massive statement if it happened. Now let's get into the biggest keys to victory for both teams. Starting with Brazil, one battle stands above the rest: Gabriel versus Haaland. These two know each other well from their club meetings. meetings, and every time they face off, it's intense. Now they bring that rivalry onto the international stage, making this one of the most exciting individual matchups of the round of 16.
Castro, what a ball, Martinelli!
If Gabriel can limit Haaland's impact, Brazil's chances improve dramatically. Norway still have dangerous attacking players like Sørloth and Antonio Nusa, but Haaland remains the biggest threat every defense has to prepare for. Sørloth has worked hard without fully hitting top gear during this World Cup, while Nusa showed exactly what he can do with an impressive display against Côte d'Ivoire. Even so, stopping Haaland is still the main priority. That's why this one-on-one duel could decide the entire match. These two have pushed each other in previous meetings, with both players enjoying strong moments along the way. If Gabriel can stay disciplined, match Haaland physically, and prevent him from finding space in the box, Brazil gain a huge advantage. But if Haaland gets the better of that battle, Norway become a completely different level of danger. Keep an eye on this matchup because it could shape everything that happens in this game. The second key for Brazil is defending set pieces. They've looked much more organized in those situations throughout this World Cup, but this is easily their toughest test so far. Norway have incredible size, strength, and aerial ability, with players like Christopher Ajer, Erling Haaland, and Alexander Sørloth attacking every cross. If Brazil can keep those players under control, they'll take away one of Norway's biggest weapons. Brazil also need to avoid conceding the opening goal, especially from a corner or free kick. If Norway score first from a set piece, the entire match could swing in their favor. That would give Norway even more confidence while forcing Brazil to chase the game. Suddenly, Haaland has more space to attack, Antonio Nusa can drive forward with freedom, Ødegaard has extra room to pick out dangerous passes, and Sørloth becomes even more effective holding up the ball and bringing teammates into play. That's exactly the type of situation Brazil want to avoid. If Norway finds success from one set piece, they'll believe they can keep creating those chances all game long. The third key, and possibly the biggest one, is the midfield battle. Bruno Guimaraes has been outstanding during this World Cup, no matter what people have said in the past. His performances in this tournament have been excellent, and he's been one of Brazil's most reliable players. The bigger question is who lines up alongside him. Casemiro had a memorable moment with his goal against Japan, but overall, his tournament has produced mixed performances. Lucas Paquetá has also been dealing with an injury, creating another difficult decision for Carlo Ancelotti. So how does Brazil set up in midfield? Does he go with three energetic box-to-box midfielders to match Norway's intensity, or does he choose a more creative option? Every selection matters because this game is expected to be fast, physical, and demanding from the very first minute.
Tries for it and delivers.
Getting the balance right in midfield could end up deciding who reaches the quarterfinals. That's why finding the right balance in midfield is such a huge challenge for Carlo Ancelotti. Who takes that attacking midfield role? That's one of the biggest decisions before kickoff. In earlier matches, there were moments when opponents like Japan and Morocco looked capable of creating even more chances. Morocco, in particular, found ways to break through Brazil's midfield and expose gaps. Against a team like Norway, those openings could become even more dangerous. Norway have the players to take advantage of those spaces. Patrick Berg, Sander Berge, and Martin Ødegaard all have the vision and passing ability to move the ball forward quickly and launch dangerous counterattacks. If they can play through Brazil's midfield, they could isolate Antonio Nusa in one-on-one situations out wide, where he has the pace and skill to cause real problems. That's why Brazil's midfield has to stay organized from start to finish. Control the middle of the pitch, defend set pieces well, and make sure Gabriel can contain Haaland. Those are the biggest priorities if Brazil want to move on. Now let's switch to Norway's keys to victory. The first one is simple, but absolutely massive. One-on-one defending from the fullbacks. I know plenty of Norwegian fans will say their defense has been strong during this World Cup, and I respect that view. Shout out to everyone watching and supporting from Norway. From my perspective, Norway's defense has been solid overall, even if there have been moments where it could have looked more convincing. On paper, they may not have the tournament's strongest backline, but they have competed well as a unit. Against Brazil, though, the fullbacks will face one of their biggest tests yet. Whether it's Pedersen or Ryerson on the right or Wold on the left, they'll need to win those one-on-one battles out wide. If they can slow down Brazil's dangerous attackers and avoid getting beaten in isolation, Norway will give themselves a much stronger chance of pulling off a famous result. Norway's defenders may have handled some difficult moments against Côte d'Ivoire, but Brazil present a completely different challenge. Côte d'Ivoire had dangerous players who created opportunities at times, yet they couldn't always make the right final pass or finish their attacks. Brazil are far less forgiving. If you give Vini space to run at defenders, or allow players like El Yawahi or Luis Henrique to get involved with time on the ball, they can create problems in an instant. That's the kind of freedom Norway simply can't afford to give away. Because of that, it'll be interesting to see how Ståle Solbakken approaches this match. Will Norway sit a little deeper, stay compact, and focus on quick counterattacks? That strategy could make a lot of sense against a team with Brazil's attacking quality. Whether it's Pedersen, Ryerson, or Wold in the fullback positions, they'll need to stay disciplined and deliver one of their best defensive performances of the tournament. Every duel out wide is going to matter. The reality is you're probably not going to completely shut down players like Vini or Rayon for 90 minutes. They're simply too talented for that. But if Norway can limit their touches in dangerous areas, force them away from goal, and avoid giving them too much confidence early in the match, they'll give themselves a much better chance of staying in control. Once players with that level of skill find their rhythm, they become much harder to stop. Another important storyline is the role of Alexander Sørloth. His tournament has had some positive moments, but he hasn't consistently reached the level many supporters were hoping for. Norway will need a strong, all-around performance from him, especially with his movement, hold-up play, and ability to bring others into the attack. One player I'd really like to see is Oscar Bob. If Norway plan to rely on fast transitions, his pace and creativity could make a real difference. Imagine Bob attacking from one side and Antonio Nusa from the other. That would give Norway plenty of speed and directness whenever they break forward, making them an even bigger threat on the counter. That could create real problems for Brazil, especially with the battles on the flanks involving players like Danilo and Douglas Santos. Another huge question is Alexander Sørloth's role in this match. He hasn't quite reached the level many expected based on the form he showed during the European qualifiers, where he was playing with real confidence and making a big impact. Now is the perfect time for him to step up. If Sørloth can win important aerial duels, hold the ball up effectively, and bring Haaland and the wide players into the attack, he could become one of Norway's most important players in this game. Everyone will be focused on Haaland and Antonio Nusa, and for good reason, but Sørloth's contribution could be just as important. If he can disrupt Brazil's defense and help launch quick transitions, Norway's attack becomes much more dangerous. The final key is Martin Ødegaard. His battle in midfield could shape the entire match. If he finds space between the lines, controls possession, and keeps creating chances, Norway's attack will become much harder to stop. Brazil need to make life difficult for him from the opening whistle because once Ødegaard settles into the game, he has the vision and passing range to unlock almost any defense. One matchup to watch closely is Ødegaard against Casemiro. Casemiro brings valuable experience, but this tournament has featured some difficult moments for him, and Norway will surely try to test that area of the pitch. If Ødegaard can keep driving forward, force difficult defensive decisions, and dictate the tempo, Brazil could find themselves under serious pressure. His creativity, leadership, and ability to deliver in big moments could make a huge difference if Norway are going to pull off a famous result. So Norway's biggest keys to victory are clear. Strong one-on-one defending from the fullbacks, a complete performance from Sørloth, and an influential display from Ødegaard in midfield. If all three come together, Norway will give themselves a genuine chance of reaching the World Cup quarterfinals. Now let's move on to the prediction. This is an incredibly difficult game to predict. I really like what both teams have shown during this tournament. Part of me would love to see Norway pull off the upset because of what it would mean for the country. A victory over Brazil would be a historic moment for Norwegian football and would give supporters a memory they'd talk about for generations.
It's a team effort. I like the way Nusa is playing. I like the way Sørloth is moving all the time for the big man. I like Berg with Ødegaard how they maneuver the ball. And so it's a team effort, and you can see it.
The excitement across Norway would be unbelievable. Can Norway actually win this match? Absolutely. They have the quality to cause Brazil real problems. Their wingers can stretch defenses, their midfield has looked organized and creative, and they have one of the world's most dangerous strikers leading the attack. Brazil have faced talented opponents already, but taking on Erling Haaland is a completely different challenge. He has the ability to change a match with just one or two moments. Haaland will have a huge battle against Marquinhos and Gabriel, who have both put together strong performances throughout this World Cup. If Haaland finds a way to score once, or even twice, in a round of 16 match against Brazil, it would become one of the standout performances of the tournament. Nights like that are remembered for a very long time, and it would only add to his growing reputation on the biggest stage. From Brazil's point of view, this is a much tougher test than their previous knockout match. Norway arrived with confidence, physicality, and several players capable of deciding the game. Brazil cannot expect an easy afternoon. They'll need to stay focused for every minute because one mistake against a team with this much attacking quality can completely change the outcome. This has all the ingredients of a thrilling World Cup showdown. I don't expect Ståle Solbakken to suddenly change his approach. Throughout this tournament, he's built a team that plays with confidence, discipline, and a real winning mentality. That's exactly why Brazil are facing such a difficult challenge. This isn't just another round of 16 match. This feels like one of the biggest showdowns of the tournament. The biggest stars are on the pitch. And now the question is simple. Who steps up when it matters most? Will it be Martin Odegaard pulling the strings in midfield? Will Erling Haaland deliver another unforgettable performance? Can Antonio Nusa use his pace to stretch Brazil's defense? Or will Vini continue his outstanding World Cup and lead Brazil into the quarterfinals? Maybe Matheus Cunha comes up with another huge moment, or Endrick makes an impact off the bench. Perhaps Rayan announces himself on the world stage with another brilliant performance. There are so many players capable of changing this match in an This really feels like one of those games that could go either way. Part of me keeps thinking an upset is possible. Brazil have improved as the tournament has gone on, but they haven't looked unbeatable. At the same time, history shows that knockout matches against strong European opponents have often been difficult for Brazil. Every tournament writes a new story, though.
You've seen that with Norway. For all the praise that we've heaped on Norway during the course of this tournament, for as good a team as they have, they've been able to make the most of their moment.
And this could be the moment they finally turn the page. One of the biggest reasons I still believe in Brazil is Carlo Ancelotti. His in-game management has been excellent throughout the World Cup. The tactical adjustments, the substitutions, and the way he's reacted during matches have all helped Brazil grow stronger as games have gone on. Solbakken has also made important decisions during this tournament, so this could easily become a fascinating tactical battle between two experienced managers. So, what's the prediction? This one is incredibly tough. Norway absolutely have the quality to win. They have dangerous wingers, an intelligent midfield, and one of the world's best goal scorers leading the line. If everything clicks, they are more than capable of pulling off a famous result. But I'm giving Brazil the narrow edge. I'm predicting Brazil 2-1 Norway. I think Vini produces another big performance, and I can also see Matheus Cunha getting on the score sheet. Even with that prediction, I think this matchup is extremely close, around 55-45 in Brazil's favor. If Norway pull off the upset, it would be one of the greatest moments in the country's football history, and a result their fans would celebrate for years. Norway have made tremendous progress over the last couple of years, and this is another huge opportunity to show how far they've come.
Honestly, I don't care too much now. We're through. We managed to get through, which is incredible. So I couldn't care too much about that game now. They're probably going to win against us. They're probably going to win the whole tournament.
But Brazil still have outstanding quality across the pitch. I really like the matchup of Gabriel and Marquinhos against Haaland, and if they can keep him under control, Brazil will be in a strong position. The area that really catches my attention is Antonio Nusa against Brazil's right side. If Nusa finds space and starts running directly at defenders, he has the ability to create major problems. Brazil will need to stay disciplined because giving him too much freedom could completely change the game. At the same time, having Alisson in goal gives Brazil another layer of confidence whenever they're under pressure. So my final prediction stays the same. Brazil 2-1 Norway in what I expect to be one of the most entertaining matches of the World Cup. Now it's your turn. Who do you think is going through to the quarterfinals? What's your score prediction? Which player will make the biggest difference? And what do you think are the biggest keys to victory for both teams? Drop all your thoughts in the comments below because I want to hear your predictions. If you enjoyed this preview, don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more World Cup content, share this video with your friends, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic day, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.